Difficult subject. I understand lots of people will take issue and won't agree with it, but this is my truth. Here I am as a small boy. The reptile on the left is my attendant. That's the easiest way that word would translate into English. It's a combination of a nursemaid, a butler, and a bodyguard all rolled into one. This creature doesn't love me. It has no feelings like that, but its job is to protect me and to look after me. And he says, shine bright, oh bright one. They're always saying, shine bright, oh bright one. And I'm either shown an image or I have actually been, and that's what I don't really want to think about. I've actually perhaps been in one of these ceremonies where they eat a young girl and we feast on sacrificial flesh. And on the right, the creature who wants me to call him Dad says, this is your world, your place in this world, this is your heritage and culture. What resides within also resides without, and that means what lives inside the earth is also genetically printed outside the earth. That's a reptilian DNA. This is who you are, who you were, and who you will be. Shine bright, oh bright one. I reject that. And I honour the culture, but I'm not going to have any part of that. Second one. So it lifts me up. I've got no memory of the body at all. And it lifts me straight up, and I've put the sensation of being lifted up and strange hands around my middle. But it didn't hurt. And I look into this being's eyes, and I don't think this being makes a contact necessarily telepathically. I think it goes through the optic nerve. I think they connect direct to the optic nerve. Your eyes join straight to your brain. This is really important because it empowered me. I realized that I had made an agreement. No longer was it a case of them coming and taking me and doing stuff and dropping me back. I've actually agreed to it. Now, I'll be honest, with these things, you give them an inch and they'll take a mile. So I didn't agree to go on a spaceship, or I didn't agree for an implant, etc., etc. But they have implication is that I have. Mm-hmm. Because I've made an agreement, they'll now interpret that in a very wide angle. To me, is I exist in two worlds.
Yes.
That's what they've said to me. You exist in two worlds, and your genetic material is able to survive in our world. We've been able to take your soul out of your body, put it in one of ours. Therefore, we wish to make hybrids of your genetic material because they will last longer on the earth. And I'm collected by a creature, this one here, and passed on to another creature. And as we approach, we're underground, we're under a cave, it's really hot. And the creature that I'm with says, do you see this great lord approaching you? Do you know who that is? And I say, yes, of course, that's Daddy. And then I go up to him and say, hello, Daddy. And he says to me, you who call me father. And it sounds really awful because it's like, oh my God, he's going to turn on me. And he says, for you are my son. I created you. I made you is the word he uses. And I say, are you happy, Daddy? And he says, I am pleased. And he says to me, what would you like? Just says to me, what would you like? And I say, what can I have? And he says, what about a pretty young female? So I say, oh yes, please. Can I have a pretty young female like Prickles? That's the nickname. That's the one that come to get me. She's a lion person, but she's a reptilian lion. She says to me when she arrives, I am a servant of the reptile race. And her name is Zuka La La La. That's her name, Zuka La La La. That's her real name. The Zugar is her original lion name, but when she defected to the reptile race, they added the La 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 to it. So her name incorporates the fact that she has been subverted from one race to another. And this isn't her body, this is just a costume. This isn't part of her body, it's just but it's to represent the wings of a Alpha Draconis, of a reptile. And this is just a mask that she wears over her face. It's just a mask. So she could take all that off, it's just like a uniform. So I'm on this chair, and he's offered me this pretty young female, and I say, can I have her, or can I have, this is really funny, or can I have the woman on the Fry's Turkish Delight advert that's on television? And he says...
As a 6-year-old boy.
Yes, yeah. And he says to me, think of her and she is yours. So I imagine her, and there she is. And she's there with a veil and everything. She's sitting on me. And without being too crude, he says, do you know what to do with her? And I say, no. He says, well, I'll enter your mind and show you what to do. So without going to horrific detail, have sex with her. It's not real. It's all holographic.
At
And
6 years old.
yes, and he is instructing me how to have sex, and he says the woman. It's awful, this, isn't it? The man is there to take, the woman is there to give, and he says the only reason that woman is put on the earth is to serve and to make replacements. That's the word he uses, make replacements. And then when we've had sex, he says, now father and son have shared a female. He said, would you like to eat her? And I say, no, because I'm only 6 now. I say, no, if she's going to have a baby, and if it grows, I want it to look like me. And he says, no, she is not manifest. She is only in our minds. And he says, would you like to feast on flesh? And I say, no, I don't really want to do that. Why do I have to do that? And he says, you don't have to do it, but if you do it, we will become father and son. And I said, but I thought we were father and son. In our law, that's the reptilian law, father must feast on vanquished flesh with his son before you are. So I eat this holographic Fry's Turkish Delight lady who's screaming. It's really realistic, and my teeth aren't made for it. But then he says, enough feasting, and she just vanishes.